You want to know the real reason every situationship ends in ghosting, not some tired, recycled, we lost interest bullshit. Let's start with a stat that'll mess with your head. Right now, July 2025, over 67% of people under 30 say they've been ghosted in the last year. Not by strangers, not by one-night stands, by people they saw, texted, FaceTimed, Snapchatted for months. Welcome to the modern love lottery where you never actually lose. You just get left on read so many times you start doubting you ever played the game. But let me give you a story. 2 months ago, I got a DM, one of those 3 a.m. confessions. This dude, let's call him Josh, meets a girl on Hinge. They vibe instantly. Spotify playlists traded by day 2. By week 1, she's dropping memes in his DMs at midnight. They never put a label on it. Of course not. It's 2025 and nothing is official until you've survived 3 breakups and a shared therapy session. But the real magic? They're not together, not apart, just floating. That's the glue of every situationship. Comfort with none of the consequences. Then one day, she's just gone. Ghosted. No explanation, no final call, no hey, I need space. Josh checks his phone so often his thumbprint gets worn out. He goes back to old texts, rereading every lol and goodnight like he's decoding ancient runes. It's not heartbreak, it's purgatory. And if you think it's rare, bro, I've got an inbox full of these stories. Swipe left, swipe right, swipe until your soul gets a blister. And still, you're not immune. Want to know the psychology? Why ghosting is the new breakup? It's because nobody wants to be the villain. Not in a world where everyone is broadcasting their main character moments on TikTok, where every ex is an unfinished story waiting to be recycled into content. You can blame the apps. But it's deeper than that. It's the dopamine. It's the micro-validation, every message, every heart react, every story view. You're not talking to people, you're talking to algorithms programmed to keep you addicted. I'll give you a real TikTok that's gone viral lately. A girl recording her phone screen, scrolling through DMs like she's spinning a slot machine. Caption, I get bored so fast now, I literally can't help it. Hundreds of comments saying, same, I ghost without even thinking. This is modern romance. It's not that you weren't good enough, it's that everyone has 10 backup options and 0 patience. Ghosting isn't an accident, it's a survival strategy. Let's talk about the next trap. This one's brutal. You ever notice how in every situationship, there's always that moment where you almost talk about your feelings? You're one wid away from being vulnerable, but you never pull the trigger. Example, a girl texts you at 2:12 a.m., you up. You say, yeah, what's up? She leaves you on delivered. The next day, she's liking your IG story about your gym sesh, but she'll never say what she actually wants. Why? Because clarity kills the fantasy. As soon as you define what this is, you're both accountable. That's too much pressure. So you stay in the loop, hooked on the potential, never on the reality. I saw this on a Reddit thread last week. Dude said I spent 4 months being her emotional support and part-time boyfriend. When I finally asked, what are we? She vanished. No fight, no drama, just radio silence. He didn't get dumped. It's not even personal, it's the culture now. Pause for a second. If you're thinking, man, this is me, this is my life, then you know why the old dating advice is dead. No contact, walk away, she'll regret it. Nah, she'll just scroll, swipe, and never look back. If you're still listening and you feel this in your bones, I need you to hit subscribe right now. Because the algorithm doesn't want you to see this. It wants you stuck, rewatching the same recycled Move On King edits. But we're not playing by those rules anymore. Now let's peel another layer. Ghosting is a power play, but it's also a shield. People think if they disappear, they can dodge the guilt. It's the ultimate escape hatch. Leave before you get left. Block before you get blocked. You ever seen those TikToks where people brag about how many guys they ghosted in a month? It's a flex now. Not because they're evil, because this generation fears conflict more than loneliness. It's easier to vanish than to be honest. That's the new, mature conversation. But here's the nastiest part. Situationships are the new emotional boot camp. You think you're getting close. You're actually getting trained to tolerate inconsistency, to crave closure so bad you start inventing it. Real story. A friend sends a screenshot. His situationship sends a snap, miss you, 3 weeks after ghosting him. No follow-up, no plan to meet. Just a little hit of nostalgia, enough to keep him in the loop, never enough to bring him closure. And this is the trap nobody talks about. Ghosting works because the human brain needs answers. It can't process maybe, so you fill the void with your own insecurities. Every time she watches your story and doesn't reply, every time she texts WID at midnight and then ghosts, she's teaching you to question your worth, not hers. Ever notice how people flex their detachment skills online? But behind closed doors, everyone's still checking, still waiting, still haunted by the last seen status. This isn't just a dating problem, it's an identity crisis. We're a generation raised to believe we have infinite options, so we treat people like options. We're told not to settle, so we don't. But what nobody told us is that always searching means never arriving. You want to break out of the ghosting loop? Here's the only insight that matters. Closure is a self-service model in 2025. You don't get it from her or him or anyone in your DMs. You get it by realizing the situationship was never about a future. It was a mirror for your own limits. You kept waiting for her to reply because you didn't want to face the truth. You were more invested in the idea of her than the reality. If this feels like your story, say it out loud in the comments. Don't hold it in. Someone else is reading this, thinking they're the only one. Break the silence because nobody's going to break it for you. And for the ones who ghost, just remember, every story you leave unfinished becomes someone else's nightmare. But you can walk out of it with your dignity intact and your self-respect in one piece. This is the Closure Club. And if you made it this far, you're not just surviving 2025 dating, you're writing your own rules. Thank you for listening. Myself, Matt, signing off for the Closure Club. Catch you in the next one where we don't chase ghosts, we expose them. Stay savage, stay smart, and remember, ghosts only haunt the weak. You're not one of them.